Allez, rebonjour tout le monde, bienvenue sur avclucky. Et je crois que tout le monde il est malade à l'hôpital. Il va falloir que j'ai soigné l'hôpital. Hein. La grande chasse. Ouais, mais j'ai des soins à faire là. Parce que tout le monde il est malade à l'hôpital quoi. Donc on va aller soigner tout le monde quoi. L'hôpital est critique quoi. Ah et en plus je crois que je pourrais retourner sur Whitechapel. Sur Whitechapel, je crois parce que je crois que je suis passé niveau 3 au niveau de charme. Donc c'est à dire que je vais pouvoir retourner là à Whitechapel faire ce petit goal et soigner sa migraine. Ah c'est cool. Ça c'est cool. J'ai déjà soigné tout le monde à l'hôpital là. Parce que là je suis en sein, je suis passé en sein au niveau des docs. J'étais en satisfaisant au niveau du Pembroke Hospital et maintenant je suis passé en stable. Vraiment j'ai soigné tout le monde. Avant j'étais à peu près comme ça. Et West End je suis pas encore allé. Donc je trouve tous ces gens-là qui sont malades là. J'essaie de tous les soigner. Et après je go à Whitechapel. Ok. Allez on est parti. Allez docteur, vous avez du boulot.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Do you need medical help yourself, Nurse?
I'm afraid I've contracted some illness, Dr. Reed.
Not under my watch, Nurse. Take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Voilà, déjà, Pipa est...
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Elle est en train elle est en plein soin. Rodin, elle doit être en récupération comme ils disent. Où est-ce qu'elle est? Il y aura une petite étoile normalement. Voilà. Ouais, mon Golma il s'est mis en ninja. Ouais, encore qui là? Faut que je surveille. Là-bas je vois de la fatigue.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm afraid I do. Like everyone in this hospital. It's a sad state of affairs when even the hospital workers are worried about disease.
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of...
Après j'irai voir ce que je peux reconstruire comme médicament parce que là je vais user pas mal de médocs.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor.
Heureusement que je l'ai préparé.
You don't fall sick often. Thanks anyway.
Hop, ça fait un de plus. Bon, il n'y a plus besoin. Ah, il y a plein de nouveaux trucs. Je l'ai pas lu, j'aurais dû reparler à la nurse.
Why you're extorting money from some of the patients here.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such an immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realized I could make a fortune.
Il faut que j'aille voir Pipa. Je vais pas reparler à Pipa.
Admit it. Nurse Hawkins is more than your lover. She's also your partner in crime.
Of course she is. How else could I tell which bed is free? I need to know that.
Have you no shame?
Don't you see this city is crumbling down? Today people are ready to pay to get a hospital bed. Tomorrow we may be fighting for food.
Do you know that Nurse Hawkins is thinking of leaving the hospital?
That's not a surprise. We've talked about it already.
Does it not bother you?
Sometimes I think she may be right. We should run away while we can. Question is, where can we go? Where is it safe?
Goodbye, Milton. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Ah non, finalement c'est bon. Il n'y avait pas d'autres questions, sinon ça serait devenu blanc. Ah, puis j'avais déjà tout débloqué avec Pipa. Ok.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Bon allez, il faut que je cherche les autres malades. Fatigue là. La nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Il y a plein de blancs là, il y a encore des trucs à parler. Bah non pourtant. Tout ça c'était fait. Et en question perso. Ah, il manque un truc encore, ok. Bon, on va déjà la soigner, la petite dame.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
I will be fine. As soon as I can get some sleep.
Nurse, you won't be able to help people if you're sick. Take this, and do try to get some rest.
I'll try, Dr. Reed. Thank you.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Je vais peut-être commencer par les soins. Les soins et après je reparle plutôt. Je sais pas pourquoi. Ça serait mieux. Ah là, j'ai vu quelqu'un là. Ah oui, faut que je descende en bas. Où est-ce qu'il est le monsieur Rue? C'est pas lui. Donc c'est lui.
Hello again, Mr. Blight.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. You doing your rounds as usual?
Do you need medical attention, sir?
Afraid so. In the war, I was always worried about picking up something, getting some infection. Unfortunately, I've got that fear in London now.
Throughout history, some diseases have done more damage to armies than any weapon created by man. You are wise to be careful.
You're working at the Pembroke Hospital, aren't you? That's a good enough reason for me and Oswald to go there.
Are you concerned about the living conditions in the city?
Of course I am. I'll be stuck here for as long as Oswald refuses to go to hospital. And, unfortunately, it seems the violence is rising.
What kind of violence?
I believe people have armed themselves and started to attack those that show signs of contagion.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself. Good evening.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Are you concerned about the conditions here in London?
Not really. Sick people, men in arms, fighting every night. I already faced all this during the war.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of yourself. Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again. Do you need medical attention?
Well, the proximity of the dead is not the most healthy company, even if the quiet can be appreciated.
Don't take too many risks with your health, Mr. Chidana. None of us are immune to this disease.
And that is a good thing. Death and disease is a constant reminder of our mortality. But you have my thanks, Dr. Reed.
Tell me the truth about your appointment as a medic during the war, Rakesh.
The regiment administration appointed me by mistake. I had to learn the job on the spot, sir. Very hard, sir, but I rose to the challenge.
Do you realize how many soldiers died because of that decision? You should have refused.
Yes, sir. I swear I did, sir. But no one listened. When the first wounded arrived, I had to do what I could.
It is an unbelievable story, Mr. Chidana.
It was a time beyond belief, Dr. Reed. But I'm happy not to deal with the wounded. I prefer caring for the dead now.
You can't impersonate a doctor. You can't improvise a medical education. People could die at your hands.
You're absolutely right, sir. But as a field surgeon, it was more like being a butcher.
Do you believe you have really helped these people?
My ratings were within the averages of the regiment. I saved lives, Dr. Reed. Does that not say enough about triage and war surgery?
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Do you need my assistance?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm capable of dealing with this myself. I've just not taken the time to do so.
Then you are lucky that I have taken the time to do so. Consider it a gesture of solidarity between professionals.
I wish this hospital could have received as much attention from you, Dr. Reed. We do not see you in surgery very often.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Reads me like a book.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
Do you know you're the only one who's asked me this? No, I don't feel well, actually.
Despite what you think about this place, I can tell you with absolute certainty, taking this will help you recover.
Well, at least your reputation seems well deserved. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for this hospital.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Oh, sweet girl.
But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
Really? Why has no one else asked me that since I got here? I thought I was in a hospital.
Unfortunately, you are not the only person who needs help. And complaining about it won't do you any good.
Well, perhaps you're right, Dr. Reed. I'm sure if me missus was still alive, she wouldn't be happy with me going on like this.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book.
Bon, est-ce que j'en suis où? Est-ce qu'il y en a encore à soigner? Ah ouais, il y a le Thomas Elwood. Il est où Thomas Elwood? Faut que je trouve Thomas Elwood. Thomas Elwood, je sais pas où j'ai le trouvé lui. Sinon tout le monde est bon. Parce que je l'ai pas aperçu Thomas Elwood. Pipa. Puis vu qu'ils bougent en plus, ils peuvent pas rester à l'hôpital quoi, sérieux, hein? Thomas Elwood. Ah il est là, je le vois. Thomas Elwood. Je suis pas sûr que je puisse passer par là. Si. Thomas Elwood, il est là, Elwood. Voilà.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
Not really. I think I caught something in this bloody hospital. I swear I'm dead, yet smiling inside, Dr. Reed.
As long as you remain here, I will make sure you don't have to worry about your health.
Don't think you can do much about it. Damage is done.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Hear disgust on every street corner. Daily.
Bon, normalement, j'ai traité tout l'hôpital. Voilà. Récupération. Je pense que tout le monde est traité. Récupération. Donc, je vais voir si je peux aller à Winchapel. Ah, téléphone. Bon voilà, c'était Madame Lucky qui vient de me signaler qu'elle est arrivée à Reims. Et qui est partie voir un ami qui a une trachéotomie. Un de mes amis, mais l'instant, je sais pas si je peux y aller, tu vois. Faut que j'attende qu'il m'invite. Ça, je l'ai connu, je faisais le coin avec et... Apparemment, ils se montrent plus beaucoup aux copains. Mais bon, peut-être qu'un jour... Je les espère pas, quoi. C'était un bon ami, quoi. Mais bon, pour l'instant, je pense que mentalement, il s'en sent pas la force de se remontrer, on va dire, à la bande, comme on disait. Bon, moi, j'ai dit que j'allais à Whitechapel. Hein. Si je fais ça, je peux faire l'enquête, comme ça, je verrai où il est. Non, moi, ils sont tous en traitement, donc c'est bon. Et moi, c'est Whitechapel. Voilà, je pense que je suis passé au niveau 3, donc... Si j'ai pas d'enquête, Whitechapel, j'ai plus rien. Il faudrait que je retourne sur les docks aussi. J'avais pas vu qu'il me restait une quête à faire dans les docks. Mais je pense que je vais déjà aller là-bas. Ouais, je vais aller à Whitechapel. Je pense là, à droite, passer par là, je vais avoir du combat, je pense. J'espère qu'ils seront pas trop costauds. À chaque fois que je me perds là-dedans, c'est stupide. Aller au manoir de Lady Hasbury. Ouais, ben non, je vais pas aller au manoir, j'irai après. Ah, j'avais dit qu'il fallait que je regarde les médocs que j'avais aussi, non? Je ne sais plus trop ce que j'ai comme médoc. Allez, où ma liste de médocs? C'est où je le sais, où j'ai ma liste de médocs? Ça, c'est pas une médoc. Ah, alors 4. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5. Bon, on est bon là pour l'instant, alors j'ai une paire de médocs encore. Non, c'est bon, j'ai encore plein de médocs. Je peux y aller.
Stupid beast!
Putain, j'ai fait une balle pour rien, c'est pas ce que je voulais faire.
stupid newborn!
C'était un vampire, lui. C'est des attaques de vampires. Ah oui, Icon furtif. Il commence à y avoir des... Faut que j'affronte des... Ah, j'affronte maintenant des vampires. Ça y est. Ah ouais, maintenant ça rigole moins. Hein. Mais non, c'est pas ça. Maintenant mes potes, c'est plus mes potes, hein. Cognard, c'est des gros balaises. Bon, il y avait un cognard, il y en a sûrement d'autres. Il peut pas y avoir qu'un seul mec. C'est rare qu'il se balade seul. Exécuteur, pyromane de Pivienne. Par où je dois passer pour aller chez lui? Dans la ruelle là à gauche, là, non? Faut que je fasse gaffe surtout. Tu vois, il est là-bas. Putain, il y a des connes ici. Bon, allez, on va essayer de rentrer dans la pièce avec l'autre là.
Good evening, sir. It's me again.
Leave me alone, I say, whoever you are.
It cannot be safe for a blind man to live here alone. Let me enter, sir. I swear I mean you no harm.
Well, a voice never lies, and yours clearly is the voice of a gentleman. All right, Doctor, come on in. Tell me, how do you see the world these days?
Ben voilà, je vais pouvoir faire la petite quête. Et je vais les fouiller partout. Je suis courageux. Moi, je suis pas stupide. Si tu savais. Ça serait... Oh Marie, si tu savais tout le mal que tu me fais. Mais toi tu me fais que du bien, toi, je fouille partout chez toi.
It's locked.
It's locked, it's locked, it's locked. Pour l'instant, je fouille. Et après, je soigne. Et après, je vois pour la quête. Ok? Excusez-moi, il est malade.
So what is the name of my nocturnal visitor?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. As I already explained to you, I'm inquiring about the epidemic.
Dr. Reed? The eminent surgeon? My God. I'd never have expected a brilliant physician like you to knock on my door.
You flatter me, sir.
No, sir, I am flattered. I read all your work when I still had my sight. I loved it. I'm Mason Swanborough, by the way.
Bon, on commence par le soin. Je sais jamais le temps que ça dure, donc plus tôt il commence le traitement, mieux ce sera. Allez, on donne le Madoc. Et après, ben, on attaque toutes les questions possibles. C'est parti. Allez, toutes les questions possibles.
How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel these days?
I hear them hissing and scratching at my door every night. The sick made mad by the fever. But these walls are thick, and my lock is solid.
And what else have you learned about me, Mr. Swanborough?
I know you assisted Professor Carell in France, and that you invented a new blood transfusion method based on his work.
Yes. Those were frustrating but exciting days. I loved it.
Yes, the thrill of research and discovery. This is what drives people like us, Dr. Reed. Oh, how I envy you.
Does someone take care of you in this isolated place?
My sister Loretta and I have our daily routine. Every morning and evening she comes by so we can talk and eat. Then she leaves and I stay.
Do you not appreciate your sister's visits?
Loretta is the best and worst thing that happened to me, and I believe she could say the same thing about me.
Where does your sister go?
Well, let's just say, she earns enough money for us both.
What's so amusing about that?
I won't hide the truth from you. Loretta sells a fake miracle elixir to the sick people of Whitechapel.
So, Mason, you are the creative one in the Swanborough business, are you not?
Yes, I am. I am the one who invented and improved the family recipe.
And you do it all by yourself? Blind and isolated in this laboratory?
My eyes may be useless, but my brain is still sharp. Once a chemist, always a chemist.
Is your sister using you and your skills for her own profit?
I've lost my sight, not my wits. Loretta couldn't manipulate me in a million years.
Are you sure about that? You clearly depend on her.
Let me be perfectly clear. I came up with the idea of the Swanborough cordial. Loretta needs me more than I need her.
Mason, why would you waste your skill and knowledge on crafting snake oil and fake drugs?
But this is my only opportunity to continue practicing my art.
By giving false hope to desperate people?
They all see me as disabled and useless. I'm sick of their pity.
To accept what has happened to us and what we have become is a difficult process. I'm sorry for what you've had to endure.
You'll not get my respect through cheap compassion, Doctor. Speak to me like I'm a normal human being. That's all I ask.
Do you know Braille, Mr. Swanborough?
I'm no expert, but I learned it in my spare time, yes. Why?
I found a strange document entitled Cure for Blindness. It's written in Braille, so I thought perhaps it was yours.
Really? Is that some kind of sick joke? Let me see.
Here it is.
This letter seems authentic. And it actually refers to an experimental cure for blindness. You have piqued my interest, Dr. Reed.
Could it be of any use to you?
No. This page is just a part of a larger diary. I'd be glad if you could find the other pages.
Goodbye, Mr. Swanborough. I'll leave you now.
Wandering in this part of town at night, you're either brave or a fool.
Ok, donc c'est fait ça. Maintenant, faut que je répète à qui? À Mason. C'est lui Mason, non? C'est pas lui. Attends, regarde, je l'ai fait.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Il faut que je trouve d'autres lettres peut-être.
Goodbye, Mr. Swan. I'll leave you now.
Je crois pas que j'ai d'autres lettres. L'histoire d'Ascalon, ça veut pas de ça. Je regarde un petit peu la suprématie des écones, les espèces rares de vampires, les faiblesses des vampires. Là, il y a les pieux, les symboles saints et l'orichalque, soleil et feu, ok. La fameuse garde là, les chasseurs de vampires professionnels. Nouvelles pratiques, nouvelles tactiques. Le bannissement du dragon. J'ai fait tout ce côté-là déjà, ok. L'origine des vampires. Il est fertile, le ventre du monstre, ouais. La figure antique de Vrico Lara. La grande chasse, gloire à nos camarades tombés au combat. Les vampires se nourrissent de nos âmes. La dépendance au sang. Et les fameux squales, exterminer les parasites. Ok. Mais c'est pas ça que je voulais voir. Head 2. Cette tête-là, là, je suis en ensanglanté. Mais moi, je crois que j'ai déjà tout ouvert, moi. J'ai tout rouvert comme je fais d'habitude. Lettre inachevée, lettre inachevée, lettre pour Nurse Crane, lettre de Darius Petrescu, lettre de Rufus, bon de Nurse Crane, journal intime, lettre de Rufus de publication, lettre froissée, article de journal, rapport sur le Penbrook Hospital, message des Wet Boot Boys, j'ai loupé celui-là je crois, pétition, mission de surveillance, lettre ensanglantée, lettre du docteur Swansa, dossier médical de Monsieur Goswick, liste du docteur Strickland, lettre froissée, message pour le docteur Swansa, lettre de mise en garde, lettre de Rakesh Shadana, lettre de candidature, Avertissement. Rapport de décès. Clé du sous-sol de la mort. Clé de la morgue. Article sur les écones. Message du docteur Swanson encore. Dossier médical de T. Elwood. Longue lettre. Photographie dans un portefeuille. J'en étais où à photographie? On en suis ici. Ordre de Prieuven. Page arrachée d'un journal intime. Et là je reviens sur le journal ensanglanté. Elle est où la feuille de braille ou je sais pas quoi. Échantillon ingrédient, armes et modules. Il y a des trucs qui se mettent en route là. Allez. Ichaboshtogomoton, nouvelle machin, l'outil, il y a des nouveaux trucs là. Enfin, moi je vais pouvoir parler à tous ces gens, je pense. Lottie Paxton. Gisèle Paxton. J'ai pas vu si ils en avaient remis pour lui. Ah bah voilà. La culpabilité que ressent votre sœur. Allez, c'est parti.
Because she knows I'll never forgive what she did to me.
You run an illegal business with someone you hate?
I don't hate my sister. She looks after me, we have a good time. But I'm just not ready to forgive her.
Goodbye, Mr. Swanborough. I'll leave you now.
Wandering in this part of town at night, you're either brave or a fool.
J'ai qu'une lettre de braille. 1 sur 4, c'est quoi? Faut que j'arrive à trouver tous les autres, quoi. J'étais dans quel coin? Ça sera plus dans ce parti-là, je pense. Donc je reparte en arrière.
Hello again, miss. Hello, Camellia. How are you, partner? Come on, girl. Smile. Don't you know Dorothy and I have an agreement? We're on the same side. No? All right then, as you wish. Very well. Goodbye then. Hello again, miss. Very well. Goodbye then.
Rester dans son mutisme, elle, quand même.
An angel made flesh.
Good evening, Mr. Nethercott.
And good evening to you too, my good sir. Can I be of any help?
How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel these days?
I imagine we are all part of some nightmare without beginning nor ending. If only the dreamer could awake.
I'll leave you alone, sir. Good evening, Mr. Whitaker.
It's Father Whitaker, my son. So, are you still lost in your rational delusions?
How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel these days?
Don't you hear the trumpets? The apocalypse is upon us, Dr. Reed. The final battle.
Why did you send Samuel to the cemetery, Tobias? What did you see there?
I sent him on a vision. A dream of a dreadful and laughing queen covered with blood, sleeping with the dead and feeding on the fear of the dying.
A laughing queen dressed in blood. Tell me more.
This epidemic is her feast, the announcement of her return. Against her, science is no more than a child's toy.
But who is she?
She is the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. She is Babylon, drunk on the blood of the saints.
Tobias Whitaker, confess why you burnt those people alive.
I have done what no one was ready to do. I will smite the flesh of the unclean to protect the righteous.
You are just another heartless murderer, exploiting the epidemic to kill with impunity.
No! No. The only way to contain the spread is to strike at the source itself. The proliferating sick.
You're not the savior of London. You're just a glorified sadist.
I take no pleasure in this awful cleansing, Dr. Reed. I am only driven by the thousands of innocents I save each night.
Why did you send Samuel to the cemetery, Tobias? What did you see there?
I sent him on a vision. A dream of a dreadful and laughing queen covered with blood, sleeping with the dead and feeding on the fear of the dying.
You sent a man to die because of a stupid vision. I have heard enough of your nonsense. Goodbye. Good evening, Mr. Whitaker.
It's Father Whitaker, my son. So, are you still lost in your rational delusions?
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye. Good evening, Christina.
Change your mind, Mr. Reed?
How are the conditions in Whitechapel these days?
When I think about all the people who died trying to reach England, it seems we escaped a war just to die on foreign shores, hated by all.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
You again? What do you want this time?
How is the sanitary situation in Whitechapel?
I'm not easily scared, but crazy killers and armed patrols are lurking about. My son's right about this place.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? How are the current conditions in Whitechapel?
When there's more people outside at night than during the day, then you've got to start to worry.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Moi j'ai eu plein d'indices, mais je sais plus les gens à parler. Christina Popa c'est fait. Tout le monde est en perdition, comme on dit. Tout le monde est en perdition. Bon bah c'est tout. J'ai essayé d'aller au doc. Je crois que j'ai une
Good evening, Christina.
Change your mind, Mr. Reed?
Pourquoi il m'avait mis un œil alors? Il n'y a pas d'autre truc?
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
J'ai pas d'autres notes de braille donc je peux pas. Ah t'as Barrett Lewis. Non, je vais parler à Barrett Lewis je crois, non? Oui, c'est le marchand Barrett Lewis là. Ah lui j'ai pas parlé lui. Darius Petrescus aussi.
Mr. Bates.
Evening.
Il n'y avait pas des trucs sur en plus avec Monsieur Bates? Non, il n'y a pas de truc.
Have you heard anything about Nurse Crane, the dispensary?
Not really.
Ah.
A man such as yourself, knee-deep in the muck of Whitechapel, must know more. Speak now.
Yeah, thanks to Nurse Crane's dedication, these foreigners keep coming to Whitechapel, and my lodgings welcome all.
So business is booming.
More than ever. Hope Nurse Crane's dispensary does nothing but flourish. More money in my pocket in the end.
Why am I not convinced?
Maybe it's because you lack faith. Being a skeptic must be useful for a man of science.
How are conditions in Whitechapel at present?
The way this sickness is spreading, I don't think there'll be enough new bloods to replace those tenants I'm losing from this bloody thing.
Goodbye, Mr. Bates.
Donc on a fait un truc en plus déjà, c'est bien. On va aller voir Petrus là. Je crois qu'il y avait un truc sur Petrus.
Hello,
on in.
Je suis pas sûr, hein.
Yes?
On va commencer par là.
How is the sanitary situation in Whitechapel?
We hold on despite the epidemic. Armed patrols have been seen in the vicinity for a few nights, but they stayed away from the dispensary.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Pourquoi ça reste en bleu comme si je pouvais...
Everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Faut que je fasse une réponse peut-être. Je vais faire ça au RA.
Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family.
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy.
Ça, je le sais, ça. J'ai déjà été le voir, l'écrivain.
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Prochaska?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Non, il n'y a rien d'autre alors. Je sais pas pourquoi il me laisse en bleu. Ah, ça c'est nouveau.
How is Nurse Crane these days?
I don't know what you told her, what kind of deal you made, but Dorothea seems less anxious recently. Thank you for that, Dr. Reed.
Ah, ça c'est bon ça. Camellia, c'est pas la peine.
Goodbye, Mr. Prochaska.
Moi j'allais voir Nurse Crane. Je regarde s'il n'y a pas d'autres choses à ouvrir. Chose que j'ai oublié. Ça parle de 4 pages de braille là, j'en ai que 2. Je crois qu'il y avait des coffres que je pouvais pas ouvrir en plus. Bon, au rez-de-chaussée, il n'y a personne, hein. J'arrive, Nurse Crane. Je vais voir si je peux enfin l'ouvrir ce machin-là. Non, toujours pas?
It's locked.
Ok. Merde, elle était là, elle est plus là. Si elle est là. Je vais lui reparler.
Welcome back, Dr. Reed.
Good evening, nurse. How should I address you? Dorothy? Dorothea? Miss Crane?
Dorothy is all right. If you don't mind me calling you Jonathan.
That's fine with me.
What can I do for you then, Jonathan?
How is the sanitary situation in Whitechapel?
I don't know whether you have undertaken your own patrols or examinations, but local health seems stable.
How are things going in the dispensary?
The dispensary is fine, but the situation in the streets is getting worse. Remember those men who attacked us the first time you came here?
Yes. Have they threatened you?
No, but I heard they now patrol the district every night. I even heard they chase out the sick families.
How are things going in the dispensary?
The dispensary is fine, but the situation in the streets is getting worse. Remember those men who attacked us the first time you came here?
Yes. Have they threatened you?
No, but I heard they now patrol the district every night. I even heard they chase out the sick families.
Do you need medical help, Dorothy?
I'm a professional nurse. Rest assured, I'll ask for your help if I need it.
Are you not afraid of dying? The epidemic is deadly and very contagious.
I'm more afraid of being locked in a cell. I've seen what most hospitals do to the sick staff. They keep them hidden to avoid panic.
Do you trust me?
You forced me to resign after you caught me trying to save a dying patient. Of course I trust you. You're a blackmailer, just like me.
I hope you've stopped jeopardizing this facility with your illegal business, Dorothy.
Yes, I have. Most of the time. But the blackmail money is too useful to stop it completely. I just target less dangerous people.
Who is the current victim?
I would rather you did not know. You are my client, not my accomplice. Besides, I'm much more cautious since the first time you found me.
Why did you blackmail Lady Ashbury? She's a generous person. You could have asked her for money directly.
She killed those patients, I'm sure of that. I know you like her, but that gingerhead has a taste for blood.
Tell me about yourself, Dorothy.
There is not much to say. My real name is Dorothea Crasciunescu. I was born in Romania, and I may have been the best nurse Pembroke ever had, before you fired me.
Do you regret your time at Pembroke?
I miss the energy. There was so much to do, so much to learn. Even though I was double-crossing the board, I felt I was part of something worthwhile there.
Do you think about going back to Romania? Once the war is over and the epidemic here has been contained.
Jonathan, this war will be over long before you will see any improvement in Whitechapel's sanitary situation.
Show me what you have in stock, please.
Distribute flowers at this hour of night. cheap. Price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Hey, Doc.
Am I right to assume your wife's letter pissed you off, Clay?
I was so mad, I threw away the knife she got me when we got married.
Your wife gave you a knife as a wedding present.
That knife has always been my lucky charm. If I'd had it in my hand when I got stabbed on that pier, I'd not have been wounded.
A lucky charm? I never would have taken you as the superstitious type.
We all have our flaws, Doc. Mine's to have my weapon of choice for when the really dirty business comes around.
What can you tell me about your marriage, Clay?
Marriage is the sweetest cage, they say. Well, I found myself locked in one with a wild animal.
You mean your wife keeps you on your toes?
No, I mean, we both have claws and we both love to bite.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Is this supposed to be an hospital? A pigsty would smell better.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
We are. Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Nurse Brannigan has been recently accused of neglecting her professional duties. Tell me what you really think about it.
This kind of protest is nothing but elitist bullshit. I trust Nurse Brannigan with my life. She has what it takes to be a great doctor.
Do you really think she could be the next Elizabeth Blackwell?
Believe me, Dr. Reed, a time will come when skill and skill alone will determine who can be a physician and who cannot.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance. Hello again, Mr. Blight.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. You doing your rounds as usual?
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself. Good evening.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of yourself.
Aren't I the lucky one?
There's one of them!
It's a leech! Kill it! He's dead! We have to stop it! Look like weapons ready! We found it!
Heartens me to know you can't... You again. What do you want?
Have you heard anything about Sean Hampton's shelter?
That bastard's become something of a holy man these days. And someone should remind him who really rules the docks.
Are you worried about the conditions in London?
I've heard rumours about some sort of militia patrolling, killing the sick. The wet boot boys are overrun.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby. Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. What do you want?
Have you got any news about Sean Hampton's shelter?
As long as he keeps on helping the poor, I'll keep my boys at bay, even if he pisses them off.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation in London?
The bodies are piling up, but I'm not afraid. I'm still alive, and I intend to stay that way.
Goodbye, Miss Cox.
I should just run.
Welcome back, Doctor. What can I do for you?
Have you got any recent news on Sean Hampton's shelter?
It's still there, just like the turquoise turtle. That means there is still hope, somehow.
Are you concerned about the sanitary situation?
It may surprise you, but I'm not. I've heard about the men-at-arms and the fights between gangs at night, but that's nothing new.
I wish I shared your optimism.
It's not optimism. Gangs have been fighting in this part of town since before I was born. This war will stop when enough blood has been spilled.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
Times like these, a good drink's just as likely to cause a problem as to solve one.
Are they stupid?
Good evening, Mr. Delaney.
What? Oh, you're that doctor.
Do you have any recent news of Sean Hampton's shelter?
I still sleep over there from time to time. A sad saint still manages the place, even if he's a little bit more reclusive since he returned.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation in London?
More contagion, more despair, more guns and more dead. More alcohol.
I think I'm losing my mind.
Is it true Sean Hampton saved your life?
Yep. The sad saint grabbed my soggy ass and brought me back to the pier after I fell into the canal. I was a wreck back then.
Were you thankful for what he did for you?
Sean Hampton really acted like a saint that day. But I suppose I'm just another lost soul who doesn't deserve to be saved.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
You still working at this hour? That's what I call dedication.
Have you heard anything about Sean Hampton's shelter?
I was told he caught a deadly disease but survived against all odds. Maybe he really is touched by grace.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation?
Of course I am. Everywhere's deserted, houses, streets all empty. People buying guns. We hear them go off every night. It's bloody frightening.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish.
I should have offered a drink to the boy. Being cursed or not, he's just another lost orphan.
You know, it would be nice to see each other.
Good evening, Mr. Woodbeat.
Good evening to you, my young doctor.
Do you have any recent news on Sean Hampton's shelter?
The man is still here. He's trying to help others despite the terrible things he endured. I'm impressed.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation in London?
I never thought I'd live to see the last days of London. Just another thing I was wrong about, I suppose.
Goodbye, sir.
Give me up! house by myself.
They must be busy at the moment.
Stop right now! Look at it! Over there! There's one of them!
They must be too busy to answer.
Please, sir, come and have a gander. I know I've got something that'll strike your fancy. If not, I'll find you something.
Always ask me for advice, Jack. I'm the one that My dear boy.
Good evening, Miss Gillingham. May I come in?
Of course, of course. So, Dr. Tippets, what brings you back here? We haven't talked in quite some time.
Miss Gillingham, why did you give Martin Nightingale the watch I returned to you?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I suppose I thought he needed a watch more than I did. I have no reason to really keep track of time anymore.
But it was your son's watch, Miss Gillingham.
It was, wasn't it? I'm relieved you found it. Besides, it's more useful to him anyway.
Why don't you need to keep track of time?
I've spent my entire life marching to the tick of clocks and the ringing of bells. At my age, it's nice to finally be rid of those burdens. On my time.
Have you heard anything recently concerning Sean Hampton's shelter?
I've never heard that name before, I'm afraid.
Are you worried about the sanitation crisis in London?
Too much noise, too much shouting. It keeps me up. Is it really gunfire I'm hearing?
Goodbye, Miss Gillingham. It's locked, all right. Good evening, young man.
There's no need to call me that, Dr. Reed.
Have you heard anything recently concerning Sean Hampton's shelter?
He keeps investing time helping the poor and sick. Good for him. And for them.
Are you feeling worried about the sanitary situation in London?
This city is falling apart. The disease kills so many people. No one cares about anything or anyone anymore but themselves.
Goodbye. It's locked.
Welcome back to my humble shelter, Dr. Reed. Are you here to subdue me again?
No, Sean. I just came by to see how you are.
I feel all right. Why'd you ask?
Are you still feeding on corpses?
No. It's almost as though the blood you forced me to drink has provided me eternal satisfaction.
How is the sanitary situation in this part of town?
I think it's acceptable. Fewer cases of sickness recently. I thank the Lord for his mercy.
How are things in your shelter? Between the mortals and the immortals, I mean.
Even if we're all children of God, I've always maintained a strict frontier between the two communities.
What do you fear?
A few years ago, a Skal decided to pay a nocturnal visit to my sleeping customers. He got caught licking their necks in the dark. Since then, I have added a lock to the door.
What if food became scarce? Wouldn't the immortals in your flock be tempted to feed on the living? Wouldn't you?
The Skals can feed on the dead, Doctor. And until Judgment Day, mortals will continue dying.
Would you let me listen to your chest, Sean?
No, Dr. Reed. You already forced me to drink your blood, and I thank you for that, for I feel better now. But it was quite an unpleasant experience.
It would help me greatly if you would allow me to give you a physical examination.
I said no. I'm no subject of medical examination, and I intend only to obey and to kneel before God.
How did you meet old Bridget?
When younger, I used to patrol the streets at night, searching for lost souls. This is how I met her. It took me 2 months just to get her name. Now we support each other.
Had you already visited their hideout in the sewers?
Just once, and very briefly. Most of them are very discreet, and they see me as an outsider, even if I protect them.
You really are a saint, Sean.
Oh, no, sir, I'm not. But I know evil, and I believe goodwill and tenacity can make this world a better place.
Have you seen Harriet Jones since taking her to old Bridget?
No. She is with the sewer Skals now. I don't go downstairs.
What happened at the Pembroke?
I guess we recognized each other. As Skals, I mean. She had but one thought. To punish. To get revenge upon everything and everyone. I realized I had to bring her here quickly.
But why did she fake her own death? There was so much blood in her room. She attacked patients, too.
I just lost her for a minute that night. When I found her, she had caused mayhem across the hospital. I slapped some sense into her, and we fled before getting caught.
What happened then?
We ran here through narrow streets and backyards. She kept saying that someone was talking to her in the dark, offering to avenge her. But I saw nobody.
Farewell, Sean. Take good care of your flock, and of yourself.
You again? What do you want?
Do you have recent news of Sean Hampton's shelter?
The place is all right, I suppose. The sad saint is still the same. Except for that awful skin disease he recently got.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation in London?
Chaos is rising, Dr. Reed. This city is about to crumble.
You almost sound happy.
This world needs to die, Dr. Reed. And from the ashes, a new one will emerge, with more equity and freedom.
Tout comme le phénix.
Giselle, I know you sleep at Sean Hampton's shelter. What can you tell me about him?
He provided a roof for me and my sister. I am grateful, of course, but he gives me the creeps.
Why is that?
He's always sad, like he's about to cry. He's always asking us to get closer to God, and to give ourselves to the Lord. Creepy.
Giselle,
Tell me about the death of your mother.
After our father died, Mother worked so hard she made herself sick. We spent all the money we had on useless drugs and doctors. It was hell.
Hell? What do you mean?
The three of us were exhausted and desperate. And when I'm desperate, I tend to get angry. And I'm hard to live with. Lottie said I killed Mother.
You should talk to your sister. Whatever happened when your mother died, the truth lies somewhere between your two versions.
I don't want to talk about that. It was years ago. We Paxton sisters are tough. We don't apologize.
Well, I'll leave you for now. Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
It's a leech!
Good evening, Mr. Throgmorton.
Dr. Reed, can I be of any assistance? Have you noticed anything suspicious lately?
Have you heard any rumors regarding Sean Hampton's shelter?
The sad saint will always be a target for vampires, but I'm keeping an eye out.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation in London?
It seems the Guard of Priwen has declared war on vampires. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, though.
Really? I thought you'd be thrilled by this news.
The Guard can be reckless. They rush into a fight without thinking. The citizens of London should not be the collateral victims.
You've never faced, let alone killed, a vampire, Ichabod. You're a fraud.
No, I'm not. I may embellish the truth concerning my achievements, but I'm totally dedicated to my quest.
You have courage, Mr. Throgmorton. Perhaps that is all one requires to face the demons.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. You'll see. One day I'll find and kill one of these monstrosities with my own 2 hands.
I'm afraid your posters were destroyed.
It cost me good money to print those posters. Such a pity people don't take the vampire menace seriously.
Did you really think the posters would be useful?
See the sad saint of the East End? How a single man can help so many people? I consider myself the discreet protector of these men and women.
Tell me, Ichabod, why do you consider yourself the protector of Sean Hampton's shelter?
He is a truly inspiring example. Dedicated, pious. His shelter is open to all, whoever they are. Most admirable.
Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throgmorton.
must prepare, child. For the earth is bleeding and the harvest is upon us.
Stay away! Whoever you are!
This is no time for petty quarrels, my champion. Can you not hear? The famished queen has awoken.
I am not your champion.
But of course you are, son. As surely as you are the blood of my blood.
I had to kill Mary.
I have known your pain, child. Do not succumb to...
Silence! I dismiss you, now!
The land calls for a champion. All and everyone needs you.
Silence!
I'm tired of all these puppet shows.
They want war. I'll show them war.
Whatever this poor woman did, nobody deserves this kind of punishment.
You London vampires are so weak!
It's locked.
So this is where she lives. What a splendid house.
Dr. Reed, welcome. How are you?
As good as one can be, considering the circumstances.
Yes. Death and affliction seem prevailing themes of late. Please, come in. We have much to discuss.
I hope I haven't disturbed you.
Not at all. Actually, I was counting on you visiting me tonight.
How strange, this painting. Beautiful, melancholic, yet with a haunting dignity.
Indeed. A long time ago, a friend asked me to paint this for him, but I kept it in the end.
I did not know you were a painter, my lady.
There are many things you do not know about me, young Ekon.
Please, call me Jonathan.
Please excuse my behavior, Jonathan. I tend to tease my friends when uneasy.
What is bothering you, my lady? Your letter was quite alarming.
We will talk about this in a few minutes. For now, I would like you to tell me about yourself. How have you been since we last met, my friend?
I came to the conclusion that my maker, whoever he might be, must be a powerful vampire. Certainly extremely old.
How have you reached this conclusion?
He is the only immortal I've seen appear in an ethereal form. His voice, his words seemed ancient. It was disturbing.
I am afraid you are right. The simple fact that your blood made Mary such a strong Ekon proves that you must be of ancient lineage.
I felt this power radiating like an aura every time he appeared.
Most ancestral vampires of England were killed by the Guard of Prewen half a century ago. I wonder who your maker could be.
You have no idea who he could be?
Some of the ancient ones fled England. Some may still be in hiding. All I know is you, my friend, are a pawn in some secret and obscure game of chess.
My sister Mary. She was made a vampire in the same way I was. She was the one killing all those people everywhere I went.
Vengeance is a powerful force for those betrayed. Made vampire through careless error. Victims by surprise.
I swear I did not intend that. If only I had known then how vampires are created.
That is the scientist speaking. In truth, most of us do not know how it really works. Personally, I make sure my prey will not return to haunt me.
What do you mean?
I am merciless, Jonathan. I only feed on the dying, and I make sure they are dead before leaving their remains.
In the end, she implored me to put an end to her misery. But still, I felt I had taken her life twice.
I am so sorry for my accidental cruelty. Had I known your dear Mary was still alive, I would never have sent you to pray for her soul in that church.
There is no need to apologize, my lady. Your words have been most helpful in these difficult times.
Thank you, my friend. If only we could have guided your poor sister through her terrible nightmare.
I think I should ask the questions, your ladyship. After all, it was you who invited me to settle this most urgent of matters.
Fair enough, Jonathan. The situation is critical. We do not have the luxury for etiquette.
Please do not misunderstand me. I would be delighted to discuss mundane matters and idle trivialities.
If we survive the dark nights to come, we shall have all the time in the world to speak, you and I. For now, please follow me, Jonathan.
I must say, your house is exquisite.
One of the advantages of living forever is having the time to be selective with one's furnishings. I took the liberty of having tea served.
You can still drink tea?
Can't keep it down, but I do so enjoy the aroma. Let us toast to make-believe. And of course, to your health, Jonathan.
And to yours, my lady.
Please, call me Elizabeth.
So, my lady, why, truly, did you invite me here?
I've been asked to deliver an official invitation to meet the Ascalon Club.
Who are they? Really?
They are the embodiment of vampire law in Britain. Some say they influence the destiny of the Empire. Some believe they merely protect it.
How many are they?
Only a small number of powerful and deceitful immortals, all of them entangled in a sticky web of shadow cabinets, influencing trade.
Will they fight the guard of Priwen?
I doubt it. Fergal was Lord Redgrave's executioner forever and a day. By defeating that beast, you deprived them of a powerful weapon.
Why use you to contact me?
Because they know we are close. The Ascalon Club has many spies. Their main occupation is gathering information and then deciding how to use it.
Have they threatened you in any way?
Not at all. Their message surprised me at first, but it is only logical, considering the critical situation in London.
Why not ask for your help, since you are obviously a powerful and influential immortal yourself?
You have to understand that I am invisible to the eyes of Ascalon, for I am a woman. That suits me well, as long as they leave me alone.
Should I trust them?
Of course not. Do not misunderstand me. They can be very useful, but I believe their long-term goals differ from yours.
Why meet them then?
Because nothing truly important can be achieved in this city without their consent. They could be powerful allies in this current situation.
Should I lie to them?
We all lie, Jonathan. It falls to you to choose your behavior. The most important rule is to show them due respect.
They have done nothing but impede my investigations since I became known to them. Why would they want to see me now?
I guess they now see you as Ascalon material. They must have found out what happened to your sister. Proof of the potent blood flowing through your veins.
I'm not sure I can accept their invitation. I have seen their handiwork. How Fergal the Beast imposed the club's law.
You have no choice, Jonathan. Even I would not openly defy Lord Redgrave, the chairman of the Ascalon Club.
What can you tell me about Lord Redgrave? Who is he?
Lord Redgrave is the founder and chairman of the Ascalon Club. Most mortals know him as the Earl of Bristol. He is rich and extremely influential.
Have you met him?
Only on rare occasions, for he never goes outside the club. And women are not awarded membership, even immortals.
How old is he? How long has he been a vampire?
Lord Redgrave claims to be the progeny of William Marshall, the most valiant knight who ever lived. If that is true, he could be very old.
How powerful is his reach?
The Ascalon Club may be the most influential secret society in England. Not all its members are immortals, but they are all very powerful.
They are not all immortals. How is that?
The club is mainly comprised of political figures who seek the safety and expansion of the Empire. The most loyal are awarded immortality.
Any familiar or famous names?
As the richest, most relentless British tycoon, Aloysius Dawson is considered ideal Ascalon material and has been watched for years.
If you are convinced I must meet him, I will heed your advice.
Thank you, Jonathan. I understand your reluctance to brush shoulders with London's vampire elite, but we have no choice.
Is the situation that critical?
Yes. The Guard of Priwen has called for a second great hunt of our kind, and they will stop at nothing to eliminate us.
What is a great hunt?
The first great hunt was launched about 75 years ago. In just a few nights, the Guard of Prewen located and destroyed most of the old British vampires.
Why start a second one?
Prewen has always seen us immortals as a threat to mankind. My guess is they suspect one or more of us as the cause of the epidemic.
How did you survive the first hunt?
I fled, Jonathan. Like most vampires who survived that slaughter. And I secretly came back when I was sure they had lost my trail.
Will the Guard of Prewen and the Ascalon Club fight each other?
I doubt it. If Prewen really launched a great hunt, I think most of the Ekons I know would flee the country to escape the bloodbath.
I think I saw them kill an Ekon on the way to your house. They seem to have a list with names.
To launch another great hunt, they must have collected intelligence on vampire identities and whereabouts. They are a resourceful lot.
Should we fight back? I will not be hunted down like an animal again.
I admire your courage, Jonathan. But the best way to fight them is to put an end to the epidemic. This is the only way to clear the air.
You should flee then. Leave London, the country even. I have seen the Guard in action. They are merciless.
Your concern warms my heart, Jonathan. But fear not. If the situation gets too dangerous, I shall retreat to my secret Scottish manor. I could hide you in my luggage, if you wish.
Thank you for the offer. I shall keep it in mind, but I have much to do here. There is a question I must ask you. Could Lord Redgrave be my maker?
I doubt it. If Lord Redgrave had made you his progeny, he would not have seemed so surprised when you demonstrated the strength of your lineage.
Will I ever discover the identity of my maker?
Maybe not, Jonathan. We know for sure you were made by a powerful vampire, but most of those fled England long ago.
Please forgive my bluntness, but I have to ask. Was it you? Did you make me?
Oh, Jonathan. I know you shall always have a gnawing doubt about who made you an immortal, but I swear, I had nothing to do with it.
You have no idea at all? You seem to know so many things about the secrets of the vampire underworld.
Even if I had my suspicions, I would not dare give you a name so soon. All I can say is this. I will make inquiries and keep you informed.
What is the plan?
The plan is we both try to save this city, you and I. Go to Ascalon, accept their proposition, and use their influence to promote your agenda.
How can I save London?
The epidemic is the priority. You must find its origin and put an end to it. This is the best way to solve the crisis.
What will you do?
I still have contacts and old friends in this town. I shall make some inquiries and attempt to learn more of the situation. We need clarity.
One day soon, I will have to find the answer to this mystery.
And I shall help you in your research, I promise. For now, you must go to the Ascalon Club and play their game.
Will I see you again at the Pembroke Hospital?
No, you will find me here if you need me. I shall conduct inquiries alone, and we can then share our discoveries.
When will we meet again?
As soon as you meet Lord Redgrave, I suppose. Fear not, my dear. I shall only be a heart's beat away.
Will you not visit Pembroke again?
No. I must remain discreet and avoid attracting attention to Pembroke Hospital for the time being.
But how will you sustain yourself?
I shall not, Jonathan. Fear not. I'm used to it.
I want to thank you for all your support and your help, my lady.
Could you do me a last great favor and call me Elizabeth?
I should be honored, my lady.
Then it is settled. Finally, some good news in these dark hours.
Thank you. I appreciate the advice. I had best prepare myself to meet this Lord Redgrave now.
How thrilling to meet the Earl of Bristol in the flesh, so to speak.
Something tells me you're not very keen on the man.
Don't get me wrong. The gentlemen of the Ascalon Club are honorable, but their attitude and opinions are somewhat antiquated.
I see.
As long as they deny access to female applicants, I will leave them to their antediluvian considerations as to the natural order of things. Jonathan, promise me you'll be careful.
Of course. But why the fear in your voice?
Look at me, Jonathan.
I am.
I mean, really look at me, young Ekon. We may be deceptive by nature, but this heart of mine has always told the truth.
Elizabeth.
Go, my friend. But come back to me soon.
Bon, est-ce qu'elle est love ou est-ce qu'elle me manipule? Est-elle vraiment love? Mais bon, après le quartier, le machin Ascalon, j'aime pas. C'est des sauvages là.
So, time to visit the Ascalon Club.
153 mètres, c'est pas si loin que ça. Ah bah c'est dans le fameux West End, alors que je pouvais pas y aller tout ça y est, ah bah c'est bien ça. Et avancez doucement parce que en ce moment il y a du méchant. Hein.
I cannot enter.
Et par où ils veulent que je passe pour aller à Ascalon là? Ils sont comiques.
vampire I saw earlier.
Burn it, boys! It's time! I'll send you together!
It's locked. I cannot enter. The West End. Never have I felt so sad to be back home.
Safer places to be than here.
Some of this?
It's locked, all right.
Et voilà, c'est le Covid. Hein. Ah ouais, c'est ça, c'est le Covid, regarde. C'était avant le Covid. Ils avaient prévu. Il est ouf, le Lucky, il est ouf. J'ai pris cher là. Wow! Je vais mourir parce que je me balade où je vois pas où je dois. Je me balade où je devrais pas, quoi. J'ai envie de visiter. C'est une zone que j'ai pas faite, ça. Hein. Je devrais quand même aller. Parce que 25, c'est pas méchant, 25 quand même. Ah, je suis à 5, 5, hein, 5, 5, 5. Ah, analyser. Oh, c'est bizarre ça. Oh. Ah bon, c'est ça, c'est une formule là. Ok. Ok. J'aime bien avoir 5 de tout quand même. J'en ai 5. J'en ai 4. J'en ai 5. Et j'en ai 5. Ah, j'ai plus assez de codéine. Ah ouais? Ouais. Ouais. Il m'en reste 3. 5, 5, 5. Il faut que je trouve un peu de codéine. Et là, il m'en faut 15. Oh, arrivé à 100 points de sang. Augmenter son endurance. Store immédiatement 500 points de vie. Puis 150 points, ça fait un coup de 650. Un peu de thune, non? Calendrier de l'an 1918. C'est juste pour dormir ici? Et ça c'est pour sortir. Ah, j'avais dit que j'augmentais mon attaque de griffe là. Que ça coûte cher, ça coûte 2000 là. Et je m'en sers. Alors que préfères-tu? Ça fait quoi ça? Plus 5 d'impact, je monte à 3,45. Plus 2 gains. Plus 2 dégâts. Vous coupez la chair de votre proie, c'est profond que vous gagnez désormais du sang à chaque coup porté. 320, 450, 720. L'impact, donc l'impact c'est pour les assommer, c'est ça hein? Ouais. Mais j'ai beaucoup plus puissant le coup en impact. Lance de sang, et ça c'est quoi déjà? Brume des ténèbres. Zone de mètres. Portée longue. Coup 20, coup 25, je vais voir ce que c'est. Ça coûte cher. Faut projeter une lance, faites 200, avec 190, 230, 300 ici, 200. Vous créez 3 petites lances de 100 pour essayer de toucher tous les ennemis. projetez une lance de sang plus grande qui peut transpercer les ennemis devant vous. Elle inflige également beaucoup plus de dégâts. Vous créez 3 petites lances de sang pour essayer de toucher tous les ennemis. La portée et les dégâts de chaque lance sont réduites par rapport à l'original. Ce qui est logique. Et là, je passe de moyen, là. Là, je reste longue, et je reste longue. Alors, vous placez un nuage d'ombre à vos pieds, ou ceux de votre cible. Le nuage explose après quelques secondes, inflige de sérieux dégâts. 250, après je passe à 300. Et après, c'est quoi ça? 400 plus 30 de ténèbres. 300 de ténèbres. Tu as des attaques spécifiques? Ah ouais, zone 4 mètres, zone 4 mètres, zone 2 mètres, 4 mètres. Ok. En tactique, je sais pas la charge, voile d'ombre, je sais pas, 50 secondes suffisait par seconde en marchant, non. Ça c'est les attaques ultimes. Récupération 80, coup aucune. Portée moyenne, c'est que des portées longues. Les contrôles. Rage, abysse, chaudron, je sais pas quoi. Ça c'est abysse. Vous créez un tourbillon de ténèbres au pied de votre cible. Les ombres prennent vie pour interrompre un ennemi dans la zone, lui infliger de sérieux dégâts. 600 de ténèbres. 720, 900, 1003, 2000. Là, c'est l'ultime, la récupération est longue. Hein. Je pense que c'est ça. Et l'autre, c'est quoi ça? Oh. Chaudron de sang, 400, 100, 230. Vous concentrez votre puissance pour faire bouillir le sang de la cible, faisant violemment exploser, infligeant des dégâts massifs à tout ce qui se trouve autour d'elle. Vous concentrez de puissance pour faire bouillir le sang, machin. Là, ça marque 100. Là, c'est ténèbres. Et là, c'est dégâts. C'est 3 ultimes, mais différents. Là, je serai en quoi? Dégâts, on dirait. Lance de sang, je suis en sang. Et là, en ténèbres. Là, je suis en combien? J'ai à combien d'attaques? 265. Après, il me faut 3000. Qu'est-ce que j'augmente? Hein? J'augmente le sang ou la morsure? Je sais pas trop quoi augmenter. Parce que je crois que c'est 1000 maintenant, quoi qu'il arrive. J'essaie d'augmenter ma jauge de santé alors. Jauge de santé, la jauge d'endurance, hein. Sinon c'est encore 1000. Puis après j'irai ici. Augmente la quantité de dégâts infligés par... Augmente la quantité de dégâts infligés lorsque vous utilisez morsure en combat. C'est 1000. Donc je ferai ça. Et là c'est pareil. Ça sera 1000 après 1005, 1005, 2000, 2000. Augmente votre capacité sanguine, ça c'est bien aussi. Ça augmente la quantité de sang absorbée lorsque vous utilisez morsure. C'est 1000 aussi, après c'est 1005, 1005, après 2000, 2000. Donc c'est pareil, c'est 1000... Ah je suis à non, c'est 1002. C'est 1002, 1002. Après 1005, 1005. Ok. Non, c'est pas ça que je voulais faire. Je voulais confirmer, c'est bon. Y a pas de problème. One Chapel, on est revenu en saint. Penbook Hospital, on est revenu en saint. Les docks, on est revenu en saint. Pour l'instant, j'assure plus ou moins. Trois secteurs de long, là, qui sont revenus nickel. Et ici, je suis pas encore tout à fait bon. Je peux pas... Pour l'instant, mon endurance a augmenté, donc c'est une bonne chose. 29, de toute façon, ils sont coriaces, hein. Tu sais, je m'y attendais pas, tu vois. C'est une blague. Putain, je peux pas... Oh putain. Ça va être chaud à tuer ceux-là. Ils sont peut-être plus faciles ces gars-là. putain, sans le casse-couille. Laissez-vous faire. Laissez-vous faire, les amis. Ouais, ça va, j'ai récupéré ma puissance. Il y a des affiches partout. Ça, j'ai déjà lu ailleurs. Bon, je vais y aller quand même là-bas. Il y a un refuge pas loin. Ah. Ah, ah. Ouais, sur ma gauche apparemment. Bon, super, moi je vois pas. Non, c'est un peu plus en avant, plus par là. Mais pour l'instant il veut pas. On va voir si je peux parler ici. J'ai vu des gens. Manoir Reed? Ah ouais? Je suis chez moi? Il va dire, oh docteur Reed, je vous croyais mort. Du coup élastique le mec. Il a même pas vu que j'étais là en plus. Putain, je suis sorti, je voulais pas sortir. Moi aussi, là, je crois que j'ai fini le tour ici. Hein. Je vais pouvoir parler au monsieur. Hein. Ah non, j'ai encore un truc là pas fouillé. Puis là aussi.
Good evening,
Mr. Jonathan, I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reed expected you to return to assist with the funeral. Right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reed is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reed was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Has she received appropriate medical care?
I'm taking care of Miss Reed myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very fond of France. I think leaving London could do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reed is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it. I have to watch her carefully.
What is the situation in this part of town?
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
I'm sorry I could not be here for Mary's funeral.
Your mother was strong, sir, but your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one else attended your sister's funeral.
To be present at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I am sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir. So my task is not over.
You have served this family extremely well, Avery. Your support during these terrible times is much appreciated.
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
You really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
My home is here, and I have nowhere else to go. But this house will need some improvements if I move here. Some radical changes.
That's good news. Whatever changes you have in mind, I'm sure we will find an arrangement that suits your mother also.
Goodbye, Avery. Please watch over my mother until I return.
Of course, Mr. Jonathan. But please return as soon as possible.
Mary?
It's locked. Mother, good evening.
Jonathan! Is it you? Where have you been, my prodigal son?
I'm right here, Mother. I'm finally home.
Yes, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now found. But where is your sister? Where is Mary?
Mary? She is gone, Mother.
I know she's gone. The question is, when will she return as you have? I miss my grandson so much. It's been days since their last visit.
Mother, do you know what's been going on in this area?
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
What do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father always comes with me, but he leaves me there sometimes, and I have trouble finding the way back.
Have you returned to Whitechapel Cemetery since Mary's funeral?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too. And Mary? No, that can't be true.
It was just a bad dream, Mother.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry. I walked back home alone. If that kind policeman had not called Avery from the station, I don't know what would have happened.
Tell me, Mother, how are you? All alone in this big house with only Avery to take care of you.
I'm sad most of the time. Sad that you have left me here alone. Sad that you don't tell me when you come or go.
I'm so sorry, Mother. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I was coming home. I was home. London, the Thames, and then it happened.
What happened, Johnny?
I lost my way. Somewhere between the boat and the house, my life changed completely.
You should have told me, Johnny. I would have understood. You always were a secretive little boy.
Why do you say Mary is visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with your sister?
But Mary really is dead, Mother.
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson? And my son-in-law? You're all gone. But you all still visit me from time to time.
But I'm not dead, Mother. I'm really here, talking to you, trying not to cry.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell you this. But of course you're dead, my darling boy. Just look at you, as pale as my Mary.
Do you need anything, Mother? Can I help you?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan. Your room is ready. I asked Avery to make your bed.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need anything else?
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those empty and dead eyes.
Are you working on a new painting?
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject and my mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent technique. I wish you two could meet. I'm sure you'd like her.
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name? Is she famous? Is she dead too?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes, she is also dead.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother, I'd be glad to welcome her into my home.
Do you think Avery is right? Do you think I should take better care of you?
I don't blame you, but you abandoned me, son. A mother should not survive her children. It's unbearable to know you're not here anymore.
I know I have failed you since I returned. I even watched you bury Mary from a distance. From now on, I will protect you. You have my word.
You don't have to apologize to me, Johnny. Do you think I did not notice how much you have changed?
Have I changed that much, Mother? Am I still your son?
You are still, and you'll always be. Despite your pale skin, your bloody eyes, and that echoing sadness in your voice.
Goodbye, Mother. Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon.
I remember Sunday walks in the park.
Moi je peux pas passer là, je peux pas. Attends, il y a un truc, un observatoire là. Pourquoi, je ne sais pas.
Your father and I have spoken about your fiancé, Mary. We believe he'll be an honorable husband for you. We'll set a date for the marriage then. That way, I'm sure one of my children will give me grandchildren. I understand your thirst for knowledge, Jonathan, and your father and I are proud of it. But you are not that young anymore, my son. When will I meet your soulmate? You can ascribe my romantic tendencies to my French origins if you want, Aubrey. But I'll never cease to believe in a match made in heaven, my beloved.
I really wish you could meet her, Mother. You would love her.
Aubrey, I'm not sure...
Hello again, Mother.
Jonathan, back already. Good, good. I was just about to go outside to find you. You shouldn't stay away for so long.
Do you really see Mary and Father? Do you also see me as one of the dead?
Yes. For many years, it was just a game. Since your father left us without a word, I took to the habit of speaking to him.
Yes, I remember. I sometimes spied on you and listened to you talking with Father in the garden. It made me so angry then. But it was just a game, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. But since then, my poor dead Mary visited me in my room. She led me to her grave, and there you were. I now know the dead can haunt us.
I'm so sorry. You did not deserve to endure this. Mary should never have done this to you.
That's true, my son. But you know what the worst part is? I liked it when Mary spoke in my head. Now she is silent, and it makes me so sad.
Should I leave you alone? Just ask, and I swear you'll never hear from me again.
Oh, no, Johnny. You're always welcome in this house. And one day, when I finally die, we'll all be together again, just as Mary promised us.
Father seems to have left me some documents. Some sort of treasure hunt game. Do you know anything about them?
No, Johnny. But your father always loved to write these little games for you when you were a boy. Don't you remember?
I remember now. He used to post me these riddles, as though they were sent by a mysterious games master. I'd spend weeks trying to decipher them.
Your father was always so proud each time you found the answer. He was not just the serious doer banker everybody thought he was.
I was proud too. How could I forget that?
The important thing is that you remember it now. I'll tell your father the next time I see him. He'll be so happy.
Could Father have conceived some sort of final game for me before he left?
I really can't say, Johnny. Perhaps you should talk with Avery about that. He was your father's confidant, more than I.
Goodbye, Mother. Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon. Aubrey, I'm not sure visiting Italy is a good idea this time of the year.
Don't let any strangers come into your house. Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Good evening, sir. May I have your attention, please?
Come on, Johnny. Don't you recognize your oldest friend?
Clarence. Clarence Crossley. How are you? My God. So you survived the war too. So sorry I didn't recognize you at first.
I almost didn't recognize you either. War does that to men, I heard. In my case, it was true, for I witnessed the horror that lies underneath.
When did you escape the war and return to London?
You know what's funny? I almost never think about the war. Not anymore. I'm involved in another kind of battle now.
I know what you mean. I haven't had much time to think about the war either since my return.
Of course. With the epidemic, I bet you've been busy as well. Forgive me, Johnny, I didn't want to sound selfish.
What is this new battle?
I saw terrible things during the war. Horrors I thought I'd forget. They're here too. They're everywhere. Vampires.
How is your wife, Venus?
We've spent so much time away from each other. So many things have happened.
But you're alive. You returned in one piece and you have a family. How many soldiers can say the same?
Believe me, it's not quite that simple. Unlike you, I'm not the man I used to be.
Is everything all right at home? Surely Venus was relieved to see you return from France in one piece.
Have you forgot what people are like in this part of town, Johnny? Venus fears for our family reputation. Now her husband has become the village idiot.
You need some rest, Clarence. You should try to sleep. Good evening, old chap. Are you all right?
I won't lie to you, Johnny. I'm not a well man.
Do you need medical assistance, Clarence?
It's a little late for visiting hours, don't you think?
What can I say? I haven't lost my old habits.
I hope we're talking about the same habits, old friend.
You need some rest, Clarence. You should try to sleep. The Ascalon Club. The heart of British Vampire Society. Not quite as subtle as I expected. Good evening, miss.
Oh my God, no. Please, Mr. Vampire, don't kill me. Please, no. I'm too young to die. I still have so much to offer this world.
Wait, no. Why do you think I would... What?
Don't worry, Dr. Reed. I know you wouldn't harm me. Mother told me you were in this part of town and might drop by.
Your mother?
My name is Charlotte, sir. Charlotte Ashbury. My mother taught me long ago how to recognize the signs that betray a vampire.
I understand she also taught you how to tease and gently mock innocent young Ekons. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Charlotte. Tell me about your adoption.
What do you want to know?
Who are your real parents?
Elizabeth Ashbury is my real mother. She raised me and has taken care of me all my life. I have no idea who my progenitors are or were.
Do you live with her?
I still spend a lot of time in my mother's mansion, but I have my own house now. I have a life to live, you see. And one day, I'll have my death to face.
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
First, I was an orphan in the institution for girls she manages in the West End. When I was 10, she adopted me, and I have lived with her ever since.
Did you know she was a vampire when she picked you?
The correct word is Ekon, Doctor. And no, I had no idea why my mother only showed up at night. She told me everything when I turned 16, though I suspected the truth for a long time before that.
What do you think about this part of town?
I was raised here, and I suppose it feels like home. You grew up in this part of town too, did you not?
Yes, I was born a few streets away.
A small world, is it not? Did you ever imagine that my mother was your neighbor all that time? That you could have met her in a dark alley at night?
You won't trick me twice, young lady. We both know Lady Ashbury never hunts or attacks prey at random.
Come on, Doctor. Don't tell me you never thought about that possibility. Her fangs on your neck. Oh, are you blushing, Dr. Reed?
Is there something that's bothering you?
Too much selfishness and individualism for my taste. Even when there was no epidemic.
Even if that's partly true, may I remind you that many charitable institutions are financed by the selfish and filthy rich.
I suppose you're right. But society must reform and renew itself, or we are all done for.
What are you doing out here?
You mean, what do I do outside at night, since I am a woman? Let me ask you a question, sir. Would you ask the same question of a man?
Actually, yes. I ask the same question to everyone who dares to go outside at night, considering the risks.
Well, if you must know, I campaign for the right to vote for all women. Why should I wait to the age of 30 years when men can vote at 21?
Are you a suffragette, then? Oh, you really are Elizabeth's girl. Without a doubt.
All adult women have the right to vote in the US, in New Zealand, and in Australia. But women here can't vote unless they are property owners.
No need to convince me, Miss Charlotte. I have shared your opinion for a long time. Even before I met Emmeline Pankhurst.
Really? Oh. Now I see why my mother appreciates you so much. Too bad there aren't more men like you in the vicinity.
How are the locals reacting to your claims?
People here can't wait for a wall to be built to isolate the West End from the rest of town. That's how progressive they are. If this happens, Emily and I will blow it up.
Explosives are very dangerous, young lady. And who is this Emily?
She is my best friend, and a suffragette too. She was supposed to campaign with me tonight, but hasn't turned up.
Have you any reason to be worried about her?
Recently, Emily started to believe in... well, she got interested in vampires. I'm afraid she might be in trouble.
Let me guess. You spoke to her about us, didn't you? Despite your mother's warning. I think I should try to find your friend.
Oh, that would be top-notch. I can tell you where she might have gone. You have my thanks, Dr. Reed. And please, don't tell my mother.
What exactly has your mother told you about me?
Your name and profession, obviously. And the mystery about your maker. I'm sorry to hear about what happened to your sister, sir. Mother says it was not your fault.
Does it not scare you to know what I am? What your mother is?
Why should it? My mother is the most compassionate woman. Must I be wary of her, Dr. Reed? Or you?
Of course not. You have nothing to fear from me, or your mother.
Good to know. And don't worry, my mother told me everything I need to know about vampire tricks, their nature as well as features.
Your mother is not like any other vampire I've met.
I believe she thinks the same about you, Dr. Reed.
Do you know why Lady Ashbury chose you to become her daughter?
No, I don't. Each time I ask her that question, she smiles and says it's precisely because I dare to ask such questions.
Do you ever regret that she chose you?
Of course not. Though I often wonder if she adopted others before me. If so, where are they buried? How was it for them to pass through life with a never-aging mother?
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
Please, sir, whether you need to buy something or not, I am happy to help.
Good evening, sir. Please forgive me for disturbing you. I'm a doctor.
I never judge a man by his title, but by his attitude. And you are not disturbing me at all. I am Calhoun Russell, and I welcome you.
Well, I must admit it's good to receive a warm welcome for once. I'm Jonathan Reed.
Welcome, Dr. Reed. Welcome to my humble shop.
What can you tell me about this place?
I recently found the best steak and kidney pie in the city. I'd be glad to share the address if you want.
Finding a good restaurant? Is that really all that interests you?
Oh, I have many passions, but nothing brings me ecstasy like subtle and exquisite flavors from my teeth to my belly.
I must confess, I have quite specific tastes when it comes to nutrition.
Really? Well, I'm always happy to try new exotic meals. If you ever find an intriguing table, please share the address.
How is the situation in this part of town?
Life is good and peaceful. We're lucky to live in such an era of progress and wonders.
Are you not concerned about the epidemic?
Oh, I'm sure the authorities would take the appropriate measure if the danger were that high.
I'm afraid the newspapers are seriously underestimating the situation. Things are critical, believe me.
Well, that's news then. But I can't believe that things are that bad. Are you sure you're not exaggerating a bit? For the thrill of it?
Is it not a little too late to be trading?
On the contrary, it is the perfect hour. Believe me, my friend, it is always at night that you meet the most fascinating characters.
But what about the epidemic? The bombs and raids? And all the random violence?
Please, sir, this is London, England. We will prevail. And if a bomb must fall on my shop, then I'll be there to hear it falling.
So you prefer to work at night?
Oh, I also enjoy a sunny day like everybody else. But the night always has a certain
Je ne sais quoi of its own.
Do you have any family nearby?
Not since my parents died. I'm London's lone gourmet.
Really? But you seem to be such a pleasant and sociable fellow.
I'm afraid the real hedonist has to be sometimes. I discovered ecstasy as a solitary pleasure, but it does not mean it can't ever be shared.
London's lone gourmet. What a strange title.
I used that name in my early years when I was a food critic, and I kept it.
I may have a look at your goods, Mr. Russell.
Please, sir, whether you need to buy something or not...
It's locked, all right.
To help. It has been such a long time since I last went to the theatre.
Ouh, le Cali, level 30 GG.
They're all around you, waiting for you to let your guard down.
Ça me dit que c'est là, mais comment j'ai accédé là-haut, moi? 13, 12, 10... 8 mètres, mais plus par là. Ah, peut-être de l'autre côté, là. Et puis là, je vais sur la gauche, peut-être. Je peux pas sauter ici. Ils sont quel niveau? 24, ça aurait passé, 24. Putain, il est coriace, je peux pas l'assommer, bordel. Bon, c'est tout. Il est résistant. Alors, comment je vais faire pour aller avec l'autre 60 mètres? Parce que là, je m'éloigne carrément, là. Non, je pense pas que ce soit là. Hein. J'ai pas fait gaffe, il y a peut-être une porte, quelque chose. Peut-être que je passe par le haut, je sais pas. Là, je reviens dans les docks Est.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Jonathan, is that you? I did not know you were back in London. Oh, my dear Johnny, I'm so sorry for your loss. Mary was such a sweetheart.
Thank you, Venus. May I come in?
I was going to bed, actually.
Forgive me. With the epidemic, I tend to forget people are supposed to sleep at night.
I'll tell you what. Come back tomorrow for tea. I'll be glad to see you then.
only the first step!
Do you know where you are standing right now?
In front of the Ascalon Club, I presume.
The Ascalon Club only summons or ostracizes. What is your business tonight?
I received an invitation. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome to the Ascalon Club, then, Dr. Reed. Please proceed. Lord Redgrave is waiting on you upstairs.
Bon, il y a des morts ici, tant de fou. Mais pour la peine, je vais m'arrêter ici, tiens. Voilà. C'est comme ça. Allez. Merci, petit neurone, de me suivre. Je vous fais des gros bisous. GG pour les level là. Pour Golma et Kali. Et puis, bah, je vous dis à bientôt sur avclucky, quoi. Sur Twitch, sur YouTube, TikTok. Bisous, bisous. Ciao, ciao.